So I decided to continue recording and make a part 2 because there's no rush, right? Better to watch the end of my video than me pick some random video on YouTube about even and odd functions. All right, so let's quickly just brush through these identities. So the reciprocal identities we kind of already have an idea about because we know that the cosecant is the reciprocal of sine. So if we think about it, in terms of reciprocals, we can put a 1 over the cosecant since the cosecant is 1 over sine. So this is like 1 over sine of x. That's keep, change, flip. Keep, change, flip. It ends up being sine of x. So that's why those work out. Tell me in class if you don't understand that, and I can do that again for you. And you just need to know that the tangent is the sine over the cosine, and the cotangent is the reciprocal of that. As for the Pythagorean identities, the one that we use the most is sine squared plus cosine squared equals 1. And when you see this sine squared x, that just means sine of x times the sine of x, right? And that's why I drew this on the side here. Oh, did I erase my squared? Yes. Okay, so that's why I drew this here. The other two are definitely useful, but they're not quite as useful. But I'm telling you, a lot of times you're going to be doing a problem, and if you don't recognize the tangent squared plus 1 equals secant squared, and you don't substitute it in, it makes the problem much more difficult. So it's nice to know those. In fact, I always remember this one. I usually write these other two Pythagorean identities on a little sticky note and put it on my computer. So when I get to it, it reminds me if I see 1 plus tangent squared, I know to substitute in secant squared. And as for even and odd functions, okay, so back in algebra 2, let me get a blank screen here. So an even function would be like a quadratic, right? So if I pick an x value like 2, okay, and I get a y value, if I plug in the same negative value, I'm going to get my output is going to be the same. So let's say this first ordered pair is 2, 1, okay? Over here, I plug in a negative x value and I still get a 1 for a y value. So basically there's symmetry over the y-axis. So that's even, an even function, which is why the cosine is even. And we don't know this yet, but the cosine graph looks like this. So it's even. Oh, that's a terrible example, but you get my point here. If you've got, I don't know, some value here to the left and right of your origin, you're going to have the same y value. Okay, so that's for even functions. For odd functions, for example, a cubic like x cubed, the graph would look like something like this, right? It's got to go through the origin though. Okay, just pretend like that does. So if I plug in 3, I get 1 over here, so 3, 1. And if I plug in negative 3, what happens is I get, negative 1. Okay, so that's an odd function. So when I change the input to the negative value, I end up getting a negative output, which is why the other functions that we're going to learn about, and it's much easier to see these when you see the graphs, and those are coming up soon. The sine of x looks like this. Okay. Oh, let me try that side again. So I'm trying to make it look, oh, that's terrible too. Okay, so anyway, you get my point. So in the tangent graph is also odd. Okay, so knowing all of those things are kind of just having an idea about what the graphs look like. Here's where this even and odd functions part comes in. So what happens is if you've got the cosine of a negative value, okay, a negative degree value here, you can basically pull that negative out and just make it go bye-bye, because the cosine of, for example, cosine of 30 degrees and the cosine of negative 30 degrees, they're the same. So when you have an even function, okay, and here's my example. When you have an even function, if you put in a positive or a negative x value, you're going to get the same output, okay? So if you see a negative value here, you can just take the negative out and it's the same as if you didn't have it. Now, for any odd function, and that's basically everything besides cosine and its reciprocal, you've got to take the negative and you've got to put it out in front because it ends up changing the sign of the output as we saw in the graphs. So for the last examples down here, and this is where these type of examples or problems we're going to do, you look to see to find the exact values, you look to see if it's an even or odd function. And this is just an example of something that you can use. The sign of negative 45 degrees, you can very easily do that without pulling the negative out, but you can choose, it's one tool you have, to pull the negative out and find the sign of 45 degrees and then the negatives in front waiting for that root 2 over 2. Okay, so if you see the cosine of negative pi, that's the same thing as cosine of pi, negative 1. Now, C, cotangent, negative 3 pi over 2. Cotangent is x over y, because the tangent is y over x. So this is just the reciprocal. So if you're at negative 3 pi over 2, so you're all the way around, right? Because this is pi, and that's 3 pi over 2. We're going negative. Whoops. Okay, so a negative angle is going to go the other direction, right? So we actually end up here. So this is a 0 over a positive 1. But either way you look at it, you're going to come up with 0. So for the last one, if I look at it and say, all right, I've got fourths. Let me just subtract 8 pi over 4, which is the same thing as 2 pi, or really we're adding, right? 8 pi over 4 a bunch of times until we get to a value that we're comfortable with. So first thing I usually do is pull the negative out and then I start doing that, or you can subtract. It doesn't really matter how you look at the problem. If you leave it in, it's fine. So once you get there, the negative's got to come out, and then you could find the tangent of negative 5 pi over 4. Now, like I said, you can go and leave the negative in, but there are a lot of this year is about manipulating things on how you want them to look and what you're going to be doing. So if you have two different terms that you're adding together and they're both tangents and one is a negative and one is a positive and you want them to be the same so you can add them together, you have to do a little manipulating. And this is just one of those tools that you can use to help you get to where you want to go sometimes. Sometimes you might use it, sometimes you might not use it, but it needs to be in your tool bank. So then we look at, all right, where's 5 pi over 4? Well, pi is over here, right? Because all the way halfway around is pi. So that's 4 pi over 4. So 5 pi over 4 is the middle angle. So we are in the third quadrant, and that means we're tangent. So that's root 2 over 2 over root 2 over 2. And we're in the third quadrant, so tangent is a negative. Boom, negative 1. And I think that is it. All right, peace out.